wait, the title's only 3 words.
Hey guys, it's Tim from the Board Game Rundown, and I'm here with Kala, and she is going to talk about her game, Nosh, that is on Kickstarter right now. Now, you don't have to say it like I just did, right?
No, just Nosh is fine.
Just Nosh is fine? Okay, fine. It's Nosh. So before Kala explains Nosh, I want to get to know Kala and give you guys a chance to get to know Kala as well. So tell us about yourself.
Yeah. So I grew up here in South Bend.
Sweet. Love South Bend.
Yeah. Grew up here. I went away for school and then came back for a job at Enfocus.
Mm-hmm.
Some folks may have heard about it. It's basically a organization that is focused on talent attraction.
Okay.
And so they bring in, young, people starting off in their careers and give them opportunities to work in, the city government a little bit or local industry, that kind of thing. And part of it is we get to actually work on entrepreneurship projects, and Nosh is my project for that.
Sweet.
Yes.
Literally, because there's caramel corn on here.
Yes.
So are you a board gamer? You into board games, party games?
I would say more of a party gamer.
Nothing
than
wrong with
anything.
that.
Yeah. Some of my favorite games are, Ticket to Ride, Secret Hitler.
Yes.
Kind of those classic, cult classic games.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't know, verge on indie a little bit.
Those are totally what I would call hobby games.
Hobby games.
You know?
Okay.
I would totally say that those all qualify.
Yeah.
Ticket to Ride is an evergreen. It's classic.
Totally.
Secret Hitler's super fun and really good. So yeah.
Yeah, but I have a small collection. I'm growing it, but I wouldn't say that I, would call myself a gamer.
Man,
you
you don't have to be a gamer.
No.
I just like to get to know people.
Yeah.
Okay, so where are you at with your hobby?
For sure.
I am overboard too much. These are not all my games, just but I do have shelves like this in my house.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, not everybody has to be at that level of insanity. It's perfectly reasonable to have a good collection right there.
Yeah, I just love having people over and having something to do, when we do, and so board games is a huge part of it.
Yes.
We have friends who we just, they come over and we play, any of those games. And I've actually, been introduced to some really fun games, through those friends as well. So I kind of, created Nosh as sort of an homage to those nights.
Well, there's no better way for me to get to know people over a board game, whether it's a Ticket to Ride or a party game like Just One, or we were talking about Wits and Wagers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Games like that, and it's okay, now you start to play some games like that, and you're okay, so now I'm getting all your references too,
Totally.
And you get all that, and then you develop all your own in jokes and camaraderie and everything over that.
And it's funny you say that, because I feel the same way about food.
Oh
yeah, when you have people over and you have snacks, whatever you have out is often, at least to me, a reflection of your personality.
Sure.
It's maybe it's the level of effort you put in. Some days I might just go all freaking out on a charcuterie board, and other days maybe I just don't have the energy.
Right.
But I still want people to come over and want them to feel, welcomed and loved. So that's how I feel about food often.
Very cool. Very cool. And now you've combined those things into Nosh.
Whoa, what do you know?
I know, right? So tell me the evolution of Nosh then. You kind of you started it. Now let's hear how this happened.
Yeah, so Nosh actually began, last fall, I am also a part of a humanities collective online called Soupbone. And it started off, I got invited by a friend from college, and it's actually a whole bunch of people, many of whom I've never met, but we're kind of all spread out, in the Midwest, over on the East Coast and the West Coast, even in Vietnam and England. But we used to do quarterly zines.
Okay.
And the last one we did was play themed. And so my friend Tiffany, who invited me, we teamed up and we decided to come up with kind of the basic idea for Nosh.
Okay.
Because we knew we wanted to do something, that was playful, but also something that had something to do with food. And we were kind of messing around with words. We're like, what about a charcuterie board game? And that's kind of how Nosh began. So the original concept was as a charcuterie board, but it's kind of evolved into just more of a game around snacks. Mm-hmm. But often for branding purposes, saying it's a charcuterie board game is kind of something that people are like, oh, that's a
Now I know what that
recognition.
is.
Yeah.
Not just like here's a thing I'm gonna put food on.
Yeah, but as you can see, I don't have anything on this that you would really classify. You put on a traditional.
This is about
charcuterie board.
my level of charcuterie board. I'm not the best eater, so I'm like looking at this, going, this is pretty good. So.
Yeah, so we came up with the idea last fall, and then around Christmas time, I went to TJ Maxx and I got a like Lazy Susan turntable, like a display board turntable kind of thing, and I literally carved circles into it and made a prototype.
So before this one.
Yeah, before this even. With just kind of the basic idea of the rings and trying to get into the center, and we used real spoons instead of the ones carved into the game itself.
Oh, sure.
And I invited some friends over and we played, and one of my friends, and these were all friends and coworkers, was like, hey, you should really do this for your research development entrepreneurship project at work. And I was like, well, I guess I should.
Right? You're halfway there.
Yeah. So, ever since then, so gosh, nearly 8-9 months at this point, I've just been, finding people to help me with design and with, learning how, well, I haven't personally been learning how to use the laser cutter, but with, kind of walking me through the process as well. So doing that and then, working through the basic mechanics of starting a business as well.
Right. Yeah, it's one thing to just like sit in your basement or your house and just go, I'm gonna make a game. This is what it's gonna be. But then to actually sort of start to realize that, right?
Yeah.
And bring it to life is no small feat. I don't care what the game is. Like I admire people that have the ability and the guts and the determination to get something to like this level. And then you put it out there on Kickstarter.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And that's a whole other animal, because now you've opened it up to the whole world and not just out of your bubble, your circle, of the people that you're interacting with. So this is on Kickstarter right now as you watch it. So how do we play Nosh?
Yeah. So it's super easy. So we have, as you can see, food on the board that I've already set out. This is just for display purposes. Usually this would be entirely tricked out.
Oh, sure.
And with like all sorts of different foods. But the main thing you need to know is there are 4 flavor profiles.
Okay.
So there's crunchy, salty, creamy, and sweet in the center. And so you can, use all sorts of different things. Like as you can see, I have these truffles in the creamy ring, but they could go either sweet or creamy.
Right.
It just kind of depends on what you have. And actually, the way that I like to start the game is, so there are kind of 2 ways to do it. You can either, as the host, put all the food on yourself if you're kind of type A like myself sometimes.
Oh, sure.
Or you can invite your friends to bring their favorite things. So we've done that, and it's really fun because it's a super eclectic group of stuff. Like we've had things where we've had like, cheese and stuff from Whole Foods next to Takis.
Oh, nice.
Or things like that. So you get really fun pairings. So you invite people over, and the goal of the game is to make it to the center.
Okay.
And you do that by sliding them down the spoons, kind of like Chutes and Ladders. And as you're working your way around, you pick up conversation cards, and you answer the conversation cards and get to know the people you're playing with a little bit more.
So I like these kind of games, I'll tell you, because I appreciate sort of the ice-breaking aspect of it, especially if you don't know the people super well.
Right, like we just met.
Right, well, yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, I'm going to bring a snack and just kind of see what happens, and then the discussion even of where stuff could get placed on the board. Well, I think it should be this and that. I mean, there's some people that will be like, I don't care, wherever you want, like, is good. And there's going to be people that are like, no, this needs to be this.
Like kimchi is obviously salty. It should not be crunchy, or something like that.
Right, yeah. And it's like, okay, if that's where you want to make your stand,
yeah,
that's great.
Hey, some people just have hills that they need to die on.
That's the hill, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so tell me about these conversation cards then.
Yeah, so I think honestly that the cards are the secret sauce of the game.
Okay.
Because they're a mix of things that are a little silly. Like one of my favorite cards is, what is your favorite toe and why?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And then there are more introspective questions like, do you have a garden currently? Did your grandmother?
Oh, right on.
And what was that like? So, it kind of brings people back to their childhood and things like that. Or what was like a special occasion meal growing up?
Very cool. Very cool. I can dig it. And again, these are things that are going to let you get to know the people that you're sitting at a table with, like on a different level other than, oh, they always attack me, or they always say that I'm Hitler.
Yeah, for sure. Or you're blocking my way to Chicago.
Always, you're always blocking my route. Quit drafting, taking all the cards I need. I need green cards. Quit taking green cards.
Ticket to ride and all that, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Do you want to walk us through a round? We're going to play a round of this?
Sure, yeah. Pick your guy.
I'll just take this one because it's close.
Cool. And then, so you start anywhere on the outer circle that you want.
Okay.
So when you're playing the game for real, the only spots that you should be paying attention to are the ones with food or either end of a spoon.
Okay.
So you start on the one with the food and you just kind of skip over the empty places.
Mm-hmm.
And if you land on this end of a spoon, then you slide down. If you
Okay.
land on the other side of the spoon, it doesn't matter. You're just kind of there.
Yeah, you don't go up. It's just one-way street.
Yeah, so then you roll the dice.
So I need to place my pawn anywhere on the board, but preferably on the outer ring, right?
Yeah, on the outer ring.
All right, I'll start on crunchy. I'm crunchy guy. Let's go. All right, I got a 4, so I can
We'll go counterclockwise.
counterclockwise.
That way.
I'm smart. So 1, 2, 3, and then I skip over these
Yep,
because they don't
and-
have food.
Yeah, so onto that piece of caramel corn. And then you can pick up the caramel corn, and that's your snack. Yeah. And then you get a conversation card.
All right, so I get to ask you.
Well, no, you're answering it yourself.
Oh, I got to answer it
but
myself.
I can also answer it.
Okay, so what food represents my hometown? My hometown is South Bend, Indiana, as well. South Bend, I will say, is going to be Polish sausage.
Oh,
Something Polish. Mostly because this town has, especially foundationally, has a huge Polish population and influence. So that'd be the one I would pick.
yeah. It's funny because my answer to that is Hacienda chip salsa and ranch.
Totally fair. I was a bartender at Hacienda for many years.
Hey.
Back when it was in Scottsdale Mall. Rest in peace.
Southside.
That's right.
But
A fair representation of South Bend.
Yeah, the two dichotomies there.
Yeah. No, Hacienda, super fun. If you're ever in town, check it out.
And order ranch with your chips and salsa.
So I don't like ranch, but
You have to do it. It's
But
just it's part of
everybody-
the thing.
yes,
Yeah.
you're right. Okay, so now it's your turn.
Yep, it's my turn. So I would roll the dice. And I'm going to start here. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4,
Oh.
5.
I see. I thought for a second you were going to land there. I was like, man, she's already an expert. I mean, it's your game. You should be.
There have been times where I have won the game playing with people during playtests. I'm like, I promise I'm not like gaming the system here. It's just the game is purely luck. Like it's not
sure.
it's not really a strategy thing at all. But so it's just kind of how it happened.
Right,
Yeah. So the question I have is, what is the hardest recipe you've ever attempted?
Oh.
Nosh.
Nosh. Yeah, right?
But yeah.
Yeah, what's your... Oh, wait, it's your question, not mine.
Yeah, it is my
I was
question.
ready to answer it.
We can both answer it, but see, the hardest recipe I think I've ever attempted was making my own puff pastry.
Oh.
Yeah, that was rough. It was not successful the first time. It was more like a very thin stack of paper.
Nice.
But I've gotten better over time, and it's been really fun to kind of. It's therapeutic almost to kind of go through the process.
So do you like to cook?
Oh, big time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I'm a sadly picky eater, but what I like, I do like to cook. I think for me, I've been trying to make chocolate chip cookies that are close to crumble.
Oh, okay.
And without going online and being like, what is the recipe for that? Like, I've been experimenting and I've gotten closer and closer and closer. My most recent implementation is by far my best. Mm-hmm. They've all been edible. Nobody
Good.
has died.
No one's died. Good.
So, allegedly.
That's always a plus when you're cooking.
Right. So that would be my answer, I think, to that one.
think cream cheese is the secret ingredient at crumble.
Is it cream cheese? They put cream cheese in
It's
it?
cream cheese. Like, it makes it like the soft, like the texture of crumble cookies. I read that somewhere. That's their
This
thing.
is why we talk to people. Because you don't know what they know.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're still going counterclockwise,
Yes.
right? So that's
1, 2,
3, right?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Got this. And then the question I am supposed to answer: where do you go first when you walk into a library? Oh my gosh, this is so easy. I go to the horror section. I love horror movies. I love scary books. Not everybody's cup of tea. But then yeah. It's definitely horror, and then like sci-fi is usually right next to it, and like stuff like that. And then I kind of, but yeah, that's where I'm at. That's where you find me.
For sure. I had to say I have not walked into a library in the longest time to get a book because I do all of my reading online now. Like,
Okay.
Like big proponent of public libraries, support public libraries, yes. But, and what I love about our local libraries, they have Libby. Right?
Oh, right. Yep.
Yeah, so I use Libby all the time.
I get a lot of library books on my Kindle.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
That's me. That's how I do
For
things
sure.
now.
It's like, I don't have to go anywhere. I can just, and I have it right now. I don't have to drive, to go pick it up.
Exactly. It just takes out the middleman there.
That's right. And you do have a nice library on the south side of town, though.
Oh yes, the Center Branch. I love that. That was my childhood library.
Oh, right on. Very good.
Ooh, 3.
3 as well.
Okay, what I'm orange, or not orange, neon.
Neon.
Alright, so we're going counterclockwise. So 1, how do I get all the way over there? 1, 2, 3. Now I get to go down into the creamy ring. So that's kind of the fun part of the game is you get to
Now you're into the next level.
yeah, so to speak. But then I would pick something. Where would I take somebody I love in the city?
Ooh.
That's a really hard question, but I don't know. And I wrote this question. I should have an answer to it, right?
See, this is
Probably one of my favorite restaurants.
Hacienda.
Absolutely Hacienda. I'm a big fan. Well, actually, right now I'm a huge fan of the Artist Run Cafe at Lang Lab.
Oh, okay.
Because I think it really shows off the vibe of the city.
Nice.
Really well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Something unique.
Very unique.
There you go. Yeah, I'll go with vibe of the city as well. It'd be one of two places. Either the East Race. I love walking the East Race. I think it's beautiful. They've added lights. They've made it even nicer. And then there's some cool things to see and do downtown as well. Or I grew up around Notre Dame. Parents went there and worked there and stuff like that. So campus is a beautiful place to walk around. And,
It's a beautiful place.
nice and
absolutely.
quiet. Yeah, whether you like Notre Dame or not. No denying it's a beautiful campus to walk around and check out.
Totally.
All right, I got to get onto one of these good spots. So 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, I mean, this still counts.
You're
as
just
good
getting a bunch of
spot.
caramel corn.
Man, I'd be in trouble. Okay, I'm gonna read this one then. Move to the outer ring. If you're already there, skip turn.
Oh, there you go.
That was easy.
Yeah.
I didn't have to answer any embarrassing questions about myself. So do I lose my next turn? Or
No,
just
it's
this one?
and that's something I'm changing on the next iteration because people always get tripped up on that, and that's been a huge part about developing the game is learning things that people get tripped up on.
Sure.
Yeah. 6. All right, so 1, 2.
Now you're
3.
going clockwise. Should we go in
Oh
counterclockwise?
wait, I am. Oh my gosh, thank you for catching that. I am always forget.
I'm just making sure I'm doing the
No.
rules.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I get.
You go, man.
I told you I'm not gaming the system. I promise. Well, you corrected me, so.
Well, it's true.
There you go.
Now she's tricking me into thinking. I'm messing with you hard. Go for it. What do you got?
The last gathering you went to with a lot of people.
Ooh.
Probably. Oh, I went to a concert at the end of August in Chicago. I went to see Brandy Carlisle, and that was quite a lot of people, but it was pretty fun.
Very cool. Very cool. Man, good. I love a good concert. Love a good concert. Last one, I guess we had like a local meetup to play board games here in town.
Solid.
I'd say that's the one that counts. Okay, here we go. I'm going to get into this salty ring before I lose the game. 2. That way.
Yes.
1, 2. Hey! Oh, I
Actually, no, that's you just hang out there.
What? Oh, it's backwards.
It's backwards.
You tricked me. Oh, because you can fly back up. Oh, look at this. She brought my hopes up only to crush them.
So sorry.
No, don't apologize. I love it. I love it. Oh, wait, it's my
that's you,
question,
yeah.
right? Is there anything you think is worth hustling for? I'm going to say this show. I love hustling for this show. I love hustling for the board game community, especially the local board game community.
Yeah, I think just community in a broader sense,
Yeah.
things, what you're proud of, I think is worth hustling for.
Fellowship goes a long way, right?
Absolutely.
So, awesome question. Now it's your turn.
Sure is.
Okay.
1.
Uh-oh. You're getting,
And this is, counterclockwise. No, that's clockwise.
yeah, that is
Alright.
clockwise.
Ugh.
Did I move the wrong way? No. I did move the wrong way, didn't I? Because I went that.
Maybe it really doesn't matter.
Oh, no, I went the right way. I'm very confused.
But I do get
You do get a sweet.
little sweet. So mine would be like, my question is, if you had unlimited resources, where would you shop for groceries? I go to the farmer's market. every
Oh, that's
day
a good place.
to get what I need.
It's a cool place, too.
Yeah.
It's a very cool place. I'm lazy, so I would just go to, like, a Meyer or Martin's or something, which are local to us.
If you're especially lazy, you could instant cart.
Yeah.
Just constantly, if you just had unlimited
That's
money.
true, too. That's true, too. You could just have them brought to your house.
Yeah.
I guess I just really like going, if I just only have to go to one place, then it's like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's where I'm going. A 1. So, hey, that actually does
It does work.
move me into that.
Yeah, now you're in the salty ring.
I'm in the salty zone, and I'm not salty about it. Ooh, describe a meal you remember a family member making. I mean, so as a kid, my dad always cooked, and one of the things I always liked is when we would make spaghetti like from scratch. So we'd get up really early in the morning and start making all the sauce. He didn't make the noodles, but we'd make the sauce from scratch. And so that was always like an all-day process. I used to get to help out, when I was younger. Very excited to be a part of that. So, so making some like legitimate like spaghetti sauce, super good, really good.
Ugh, there's nothing like that, for sure.
Yeah. And then again, right, you have all the nice memories attached to it and everything as well. So
Yeah, for me it was sumgullion is something my grandmother would make. And at first we always thought it was a made-up word. And basically what it is ground beef, onions, canned tomatoes, Velveeta
okay,
over egg noodles.
really,
Yeah, and apparently it's a word that means a cheap, insubstantial stew. Because I looked it up because back in grad school I wrote a short story about it.
okay,
And I was very shocked to find out that it was a real word.
a real word and a real thing.
Yeah.
It's not just something your grandma made up.
Yeah, I mean it's basically just like American goulash with Velveeta in it, but I don't know.
Right.
It's just all the like comfort food.
Yeah, if it's
No.
good, it's good.
Oh, for sure.
That's all that matters. It's all that matters. All right.
It is me. Okay. 6. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm going counterclockwise, which is
That way.
this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just won.
Look at that.
There we go.
Look at that.
Yeah. So
So,
we got through that really quickly.
well, yeah, I guess you're really good at this game. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so the way that Nosh can end is when that happens, and then the rest of the players can choose to continue playing if they'd like, or they can just kind of say, the vibes are done. We'll just eat the food and
Eat the
move on
food
to the
and-
next thing. So I've played games where it's lasted as short as this, and then games that have been even shorter, and games that have been a lot longer.
Sure.
Also, when you have more people, it kind of changes things as well.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm wrong often. But to me, the vibe of this more is like we're hanging out. Like
That's so true.
this is, yeah, everybody loves to win, but I mean, for the most part, like it's the experience you have playing games.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't. Again, I'd love to win every game I play. I definitely do not. But at the same time, though, like I love coming away with the good stories. The things that happened. Just the new friends that you can make if you're playing with somebody you don't know as well or never met before. And what a very awesome way to like just have an opportunity like these prompts for conversation, really unique and really interesting. I really appreciated that. I thought it was fun.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So, obviously this is what Nosh is. So if you're going to have a problem with getting to know people, or, you don't like rolling dice, or you're worried about that, that's what it is. This game is for fellowship.
Absolutely.
Right? What else can we say about Nosh? What we covered everything? What are we missing?
I think we've covered most of it. Like kind of as you said, the whole vibe of the game is about getting to know people and just like building off of conversations. One of the last times I played it, someone told me, it's like, I forgot we were playing a game.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, so this is where it is now. We're currently working on a Kickstarter.
Right.
We've got about 14 days left.
Okay, yeah, as of filming. So when
As
this
of
pops
filming.
up, it'll be a little less than that, but close.
Urgency.
Right.
But yeah, so our goal is 15,000. We're not almost there. We're $3,500 away from getting there.
That's almost there. Trust me.
Yeah, so the goal is once we hit our Kickstarter, I've already got the pieces in place for production. I'm working with Notre Dame's Innovation Lab are helping me with the boards, and we've been working with a local printing company to make the boxes and the cards and everything.
Locally sourced.
Yeah, so trying to do that as much as we can. So the hope is to be in production and selling things by the holidays.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So that's what the goal is now.
Well, let me just say though, like, thank you, because this is a wonderful idea, and like, what a fun, because like for me, I was very quickly other than maybe, oh hey, I want some more caramel corn, or if I could get one of those Fritos, let's do it. But very, very quickly, as far as the game goes, I was looking forward to the questions and seeing what the questions were, and just, I love getting to know people. I love talking to people. I am all about just like, hey, what are you into? What's up? And so what a very, very cool way to do that. I haven't seen anything like that. I played a ton of games, and they're great facilitator, for to get to know people and do things. But this, completely different way. And I love the way that you can just populate the board any way you want.
You actually can make Nosh with just potatoes.
Really?
Think about it. So you got crunchy, have your potato chips. Got salty. You could really put anything there. French fries, whatever, tater tots. Creamy. I would put like maybe a bit of like mashed potatoes like on a piece of toast or something. And this is like purely hypothetical. And then sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes.
Potatoes are the perfect vegetable starch.
They're vegetable, technically, yeah.
Technically.
A tuber.
That's why I was told my stepmom.
Yeah.
And she's trying to get me to eat my vegetables, and she told me I never counted.
Potatoes and sweet corn are the, vegetables that are holding up the Midwest.
They are the vegetables that held up my childhood. Well, this has been awesome, Kala. Thank you so much for coming on and talking about Nosh and showing us this. I think it's delightful. If anybody wants to support small, local, this is a great way to do it. If you want to have a great time, like a little centerpiece for your party, you want to host something, this is also a great way to do it. Again, this is something, let's just say you're going to play a big, heavy game later on, and but you're still waiting for people to show up. Throw this bad boy down. Yeah. Everybody can have some snacks.
It's an amuse-bouche.
Look at that. You see, you're so much more sophisticated than me, which is awesome, because we got to raise the bar here sometimes with the rundown. But anything else you want to say before we sign off?
Nothing. Just thanks for having me on, and this is a really cool opportunity, and I really appreciate it.
I appreciate the opportunity. I think this is great, and I would have not known if a friend hadn't pointed this out. And I'm like, well, how could I have missed a local person making a game and doing things like this in my own community, right? So I'm really glad you decided to come on the show, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
All right, guys, for the board game rundown, I've been Tim. This has been Kala. Got it right. And thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.